Whoa, guys, it's a sea of red out there. If you look at the coin map today, it's red, red, red. Another little dump, another correction. But is this market manipulation, or is this just a healthy correction in a bull market? Let me tell you, Fred dug up some data. And when you see this data, you need to draw your own conclusions. But it's very clear what's going on in the market today and why this is going down. But regardless of why it's going down, we spoke about corrections yesterday, and we spoke about 2017. Fred, call up the corrections chart. Remember this corrections chart where we looked at all the different corrections that we had in 2017, and we said that corrections in a bull market are healthy. We need corrections in a bull market because that is what shakes out the weak hands and reminds people to be more rational in their investing. And when you look at the corrections in the bull market, we saw yesterday that the corrections last more than just a day. It seems that there's this new crypto investor out there, and they expect the corrections to last a week or a day. But that's not the case. Fred, call up some of the 2017 corrections. Let's have a look at them. So that is the first correction that we saw in 2017. That was a 35-day correction. From the time Bitcoin started to go down, it took 35 days for Bitcoin to get to a bottom. And then it went up again, and it took 20 days to get up. And that was just the first correction out of a whole lot of corrections. Let's go to some of the other corrections. So this is correction number 2, 14 days from top to bottom. Guys, we've only been in a correction for the last couple of days. So we can expect more blood in the street. I'm Crypto Man Run, and I come to you each and every day at 10 a.m. EST, and I bring you crypto love. And together our community keeps growing and keeps making money. Guys, I need you to help me. YouTube is banning our videos. They shadow banning the videos because they deem the content to be what they call inappropriate content. The only way to fix this is if you guys like and share this content, and we tell them that this is actually appropriate content. So please do your bit. I will do mine. Let's get this show on the road. And speaking of getting this show on the road, remember that about a week ago, we were dealing with insane greed on the market. We saw people coming in here greedy, looking to make money. Well, that's now changed. And that greed has turned to absolute fear. And there's an indicator that hasn't turned bearish for 3 years. And today we're going to show you that that indicator has actually gone bearish. But does this mean that the market is bearish? Or does this mean an opportunity for the bulls out there? And that is what we're going to talk about today, because I think that there may be a massive, massive, massive opportunity for the bulls out there. And then, guys, remember this show? I don't know if you guys remember this show when we had Coach K coming on the show. Listen to this.
If you know Legendary Films, they retweeted Terra Virtua. Legendary Films makes a lot of good movies. If you know TVK, right?
TVK, get it.
It's gonna go bonkers.
It is still super low cap, guys.
It is extremely low, guys. Extremely.
This one is NFT season is coming. Okay, that's the next big thing. Insurance, NFTs. This
has been absolutely incredible. In fact, this is why Banter was created. So that was TVK, and TVK was trading at 5 cents when Mr. Biz and Coach K called TVK. And today, when you look at the TVK price, look at that, guys. It went up to $1.20, and that's on the back of a Binance listing. And what we're noticing is that Binance is going all in on NFTs. Binance loves the NFT space. They seem to be listing more and more and more NFT projects. And of course, that's no big surprise. I mean, if you did watch our show yesterday, what a show. Did you watch that guy, Hervé, putting in a bid for an NFT, for a piece of art at $1 million live on our show? Fred, show the guys the video of that. For those who didn't watch bid here, if we get to 1,000 likes, it's an image made by Beeple. The current bid, am I reading that right? That the current bid is $1 million. Do you have the balls to bid higher than $1 million?
At this point, I can't outbid myself.
So this is your bid?
This is my bid.
You just put in $1 million bid. Guys, I mean, you realize what's going on here. Hervé has bid $1 million for an NFT live here on CryptoBanter.com. That was yesterday on our show live. Hervé put in a $1 million bid. I think the bid is much higher now, so I'm not sure that he's still in the front of the bid, but we'll keep catching up to him in the next 2 weeks. But on that note, on the NFT note, today I've got another NFT guest for us, and that today I've got Alotomoney. I know you guys know him. He's an NFT artist. I mean, this guy is the business, and we've got him here live today with us. And then we've got a new buyer in the market. We've got a new $10 billion buyer for Bitcoin in the market. That new buyer announced that they are going to spend part of their big fund on Bitcoin. And this time it's an open-ended fund, which means that they can keep buying and keep buying and keep buying Bitcoin. So as more and more time passes and more time goes by, we are getting more and more people, big institutions, buying Bitcoin. On the other hand, you've got Elon Musk, and he thinks that he's not in trouble again. In fact, he's saying to the SEC, come at us. It would actually be pretty fun if you come at us. And that's because the SEC is now opening a case, an investigation against Elon Musk for none other than his Dogecoin tweets. I mean, wouldn't it be ironic that after all the Tesla tweets that this guy's done, the SEC will take him for a Dogecoin tweet? He's not scared. He's basically given the SEC the middle finger and said, you know what, it will be fun. If you guys want to come and do this, it will be a whole lot of fun. And then, guys, remember the Bitcoin ETF that we spoke about? Remember we spoke about that Canadian Bitcoin ETF, and we said that ETF got $500 million after just a few days and was well on track to get $1 billion worth of deposits. Well, it seems like Canada may be getting an Ethereum ETF sooner than we think. And if they do get a Ethereum ETF, that could mean huge buying for Ethereum. And if you watched our show yesterday, I tried to talk to you guys about the network effect of Ethereum and show you why Ethereum is on track for 10 trillion. Yeah, you heard me right, $10 trillion. And that is, we've revised our price target, and we revised our price target to $20,000 in 2021. And you know, we're actually all about fundamentals. And the fundamentals here actually paint an amazing picture. So we've got a big guest for you later on, and he's going to be looking at the technicals. I know you guys love this guest. He is, in my mind, the most accurate chartist in the world. He's got probably the most profitable crypto community in the world. I'm so excited to get him on board. And we're going to talk to him about where he thinks the market is and where he thinks the charts are going. And then Friday, what do we do on Friday, guys? Friday, we banter. And today we are going to banter with the best of them. We've got Chris from MMcrypto. We got Kyle Chasse. We got Winston Wolf. We got Coach K. We know you love these guys. And then we may get Elliot Trades because he's on the West Coast. And if he does wake up, I know he's been very, very, very busy with his new project. If he does wake up, he is joining us for our Friday afternoon banter. So all in all, today is a show that you absolutely don't want to miss. In fact, if you want to miss one of our shows, don't miss a Friday, because Friday is banter, and that's when all the calls come out. So if you are here, smash that like, smash that subscribe. We need to get rid of this YouTube shadow ban. The only way that I can do it is with you guys smashing the like, smashing the subscribe, and I'm going to get on with the first story of the day, and that is, of course, the story of the red in the markets. I mean, let's just quickly go and have a look here on the markets, what we look like. That is what the market looks like today. It's a bloodbath out there. And there have been theories on Twitter and on other YouTube channels that this is being caused by F2 Pool. That F2 Pool is manipulating the market ahead of the futures close, the CME futures close, which actually happens today or is happening sometime now during the show. I think towards the end of the show, the CME futures are going to close. And the question is whether indeed F2 Pool is manipulating the price. They have been called out on it before by Cryptos Are Us, by George from Cryptos Are Us, and by BitBoy Crypto. And they responded saying that it's not them selling, but it's their LPs, it's their investors, it's people that they mined for selling Bitcoin. And if we look at the charts, if we look at the graphs, Fred, call up some of the graphs. That is the total outflows. These guys had 14,000 Bitcoin, which they took out of their account and they deposited on various exchanges, including a massive deposit on one exchange, which was, of course, the BitMEX exchange. And so speculation is that they were putting it there so that they could start shorting the price, manipulating the price ahead of the futures close. But if you were to do that, it would mean that you would have to have a position in the futures. And I looked at the futures today, and there's no way that anybody could take a position on 14,000 Bitcoin and still profit by reducing the price. So I don't think that that's a good theory. What I do think is at play now is a completely new dynamic. And that is that I think we have new weak hands in the market, terribly weak hands in the market. And that's why the next indicator that I look at around the bull market and bear market is one that is a little bit concerning. And that is, of course, the grayscale premium. So for those of you who don't know what the grayscale premium is about, grayscale is a trust that allows people to invest in Bitcoin. The trust buys only Bitcoin or only Ethereum, depending on which trust you actually buy. And the shares in this trust are traded on an exchange, like a stock exchange. And so this allows the small man, the investor, the small person who doesn't want to hold private keys and everything else, to buy shares in the Grayscale Trust to get exposure to Bitcoin. So, for example, if you're a corporate or you're a small investor and you want to buy Bitcoin, but you don't want the hassle of custody, insurance, holding your own coins, leaving coins on an exchange, then what you can do is you can buy shares in the Grayscale Trust. Now, the catch is that accredited investors can buy shares at net asset value. In other words, at the value of the Bitcoin that is sitting in the trust. Unaccredited investors can't buy shares at net asset value. And so what's happened historically is accredited investors, what the US deems to be smarter investors or richer investors, because remember, in the USA, an accredited investor has to have $1 million of assets. And if you don't, then you're deemed to be an unaccredited investor. And only accredited investors can buy the Grayscale Trust at net asset value. So every day at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, Grayscale take the value of the Bitcoin in the trust, and they say, if you want to buy shares in the trust, you can buy them at the value of the Bitcoin in the trust. 6 months later, you get your shares, and then you can sell them in the open market. And who's buying them in the open market? Well, it's the poor, unaccredited investors. It's people that are not $1 million strong. And up until now, there's been a huge premium where these accredited investors have sold their shares to the unaccredited investors. And because of the raging demand by the lower investors, the smaller investors, there's been a premium. Fred, call up that Bitcoin price premium. Let's have a look at it. So the man in the street, the smaller investor, has paid a premium as per the purple line below. And you can see that that premium has sometimes gone as high as 100%. In other words, people are paying 100% premium to own Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin is trading at $10,000, people who buy into this trust are buying at $20,000 because they don't have money to be accredited, because they're not deemed to be sophisticated accredited investors. And up until now, what the accredited investors have done, the bigger investors, is they have taken their Bitcoin, deposited Bitcoin or cash into the trust, waited 6 months, and dumped their Bitcoin on unaccredited investors, the poor man in the street. And this is a gauge of how much the man in the street wants Bitcoin. Because the more they want Bitcoin, the more premium they're willing to pay. And what we saw yesterday was, for the first time in 3 years, this premium went negative. Fred, call up that chart again. For the first time in 3 years, you can see, if you look at that purple line, for the first time in 3 years, there has been no demand by the man in the street, the weak hands, for Bitcoin. First time in 3 years. What does that mean? It means that the man in the street, the small investor, is scared of the Bitcoin market. They've never seen a correction like this, and they are not willing to pay for the value of the Bitcoin. On the other hand, it means that the accredited investors, the new institutions, the new guys that have bought, when they saw this correction, they started to sell and take any price, even if it was less than the Bitcoin in the trust. And so we see that there are lots of weak hands in this market, and they don't understand the market, and they don't understand the market correction. Systematically, this leads to another problem in the market, and that is that a lot of these accredited investors actually borrowed money, bought Bitcoin, invested the Bitcoin in the trust, and were hoping to make a return of the premium. So you go to Celsius or you go to BlockFi and you borrow Bitcoin and you deposit those Bitcoin in the trust. And what happens? You expect that after 6 months, you can sell it at a premium to an unaccredited investor and keep rinsing and repeating. But now these guys have taken a loan, the loans have accrued interest, and they're getting a negative premium. And this could send the market into a little bit of a spin because these guys have to repay their loans. And how do they repay their loans? Well, they have to repay their loans using Bitcoin. There was a tweet published yesterday. I wasn't the only one that picked this up. In fact, Ryan Selkis from Masari picked this up as well. And he said, the grayscale GBTC premium is now negative for the first time since 2015. Sustained discounts could cause real pain across crypto lending markets. So what does this mean for me and you? It means that if you have been here for a while, if you have conviction in the Bitcoin market, this may be an unbelievable buying opportunity for us. Because when these guys are panicking because they need to cover their loans, when the retail investor is not buying, when the new weak hand is selling or trying to get out of their shares in the Grayscale Trust, who's buying? We are. The people that actually believe in Bitcoin long term. That's my theory. But my theory is the fundamental analysis. Let's talk to the technical analyst, the man that looks at charts each and every day. And let me tell you, this guy calls it right more than anyone else on YouTube. Just watch this guy. Watch Chris from MMcrypto. He calls it right every single time. Chris, you don't look worried. You look very relaxed, my friend.
I'm extremely relaxed. I hope the audio quality is fine. I'm coming to you here straight from Mexico. Man, I was watching your whole show here. Beautiful content. Very nice data points. I love it.
Amazing. Chris, tell me why you're not worried. I know that you look at the charts. Your thing is that I think you're the best chartist in the world, if you ask me. And you're not worried. Tell me why you're not worried.
So yeah, first of all, thank you so much. There are so many nice ones. Maybe it's not about being the greatest, but I really appreciate your words here. And for sure, our community was the most profitable one as far as I'm concerned in the last few months. Maybe not the last few days because we are either longing or waiting, right? So there were not really trading opportunities in the last few days. But the reason why I'm not worried is first of all, few things you mentioned. I love the grayscale news here. And we always need that. If you look in the last market cycles, always when the vast majority of the retail investors was scared, well, this was usually the beginning, the tipping point, the end of the dump, the beginning of the next rally. So I'm not saying we are going to rally today. It's even very unlikely that we are rallying within the next few weeks, but this is a needed correction actually we had. And yeah, I'm personally looking at the last corrections. We had a 31% correction in January. Now we are at 24%. I have a worst case scenario. Maybe I can share that in the charts here. The one where I think, yeah,
let's share your screen.
Yeah, let me share the screen.
People are asking for your the Twitter profile. So Fred, you got to put Chris's Twitter profile. Everybody wants to know where they can get hold of you. While Chris is sharing his screen, guys, help us with our shadow ban on YouTube. Smash those likes. Tell YouTube that we need this content shared. The last 5 videos that we've made, YouTube has absolutely blocked. So we need you to help us there. All right, Chris, you got to share the actual chart on the screen.
Yeah. Can you see the chart? Right now?
Yes, there we go. Now we've got your chart.
All right. So first of all, I want to focus on the short term because that's what everyone is interested in, right? So we are starting here on the hourly candles for Bitcoin, and you saw here this massive rejection at 58,400 or so. My personal price target, actually, I was quoting it since 24,000 or so, was 54,000. So I was surprised myself that we were overshooting here even for 4,000. So after 54,000, I was also not opening any new. Was 54,000. So I was. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead, Chris. We can hear you.
Perfect. There was an echo. So I was not taking any more profits after the $54,000 level. And you can see after we were dumping down here, we had a massive shakeout, a retest, and we got rejected by my previous price target here. So what we can see here is probably the beginning of a downward sideways consolidation, something we always need in every bull market where retail investors are shaken out. You already mentioned here people on grayscale. They're not really keen on buying right now. This is exactly what we need. So what we were forming here on the 1 hourly candles was a rising wedge or an ascending triangle. No matter what it was, the price target is very similar, and also we broke it here to the downside. So everyone who shorted this is right now in significant profits. The question is this the end of the dump already? Well, we already hit here the technical target of the rising wedge. It is a bearish bias pattern, and the target is the bottom of the wedge. So as you can see, we already perfectly hit it. I am a little bit doubtful if this is already the end of the dump, because here I want to go over to the 4-hourly candles, and I want to pull out the Fibonacci retracement. And if you are pulling out the Fibonacci retracement, then you can see that the golden pocket is usually the price level where Bitcoin loves the most to retrace to. We are doing it all over again. And here you can see it's the 61.8 and the 65 Fibonacci retracement level. For me personally, this is the worst case scenario. I will tell you in the end also how I would play this, how I would actually profit from that, how I would open a new trade here to trade the reversal here towards the upside for good again. And another thing I'm looking out for, usually I will keep the Fibonacci retracement level here, is confluence. So we need not only one indicator pointing towards a specific price level, we need at least 2 or more. So another one here is the EMA ribbon. So as you can see here, the EMA ribbon is not perfectly, but pretty much converging here with the 39,000, 40,000 US dollar price level. So in case we were to break further down here within the next few days, I wouldn't freak out at all. You already mentioned that. This is actually what the big people are waiting for. I would personally open a limit long at the 39, 40,000 US dollar price level at comparably low leverage, maybe a 5x, 10x, and then if we are actually reversing here, and many things are actually pointing towards it, then I would be personally here in a very strong long position. As far as my old long positions are concerned, I'm keeping them open. I have very low liquidation prices here, but I am looking out to long this market here actually among the 40,000 US dollar price levels. I wanted to mention one more thing. Yeah?
Go ahead. We'd love this analysis.
Thank you. I wanted to mention one more thing. Of course, this is the technicals. But guys, I don't want you to forget that Michael Saylor, I'm showing you here the street, Michael Saylor was buying 1.05, approximately 1.026 billion US dollars in cash in Bitcoin. And his average price was 52,000. He doesn't the F worry about the price going maybe 10, 15% lower. He already got a 10% discount to that. So what his plan is, and you have to keep that in mind, if you are thinking about selling your Bitcoin, he is always buying more Bitcoin on a new loan, on convertible loans. He is collateralizing the old base he has in Bitcoin and taking even higher loans to buy even more. So his primary goal is actually to get as many Bitcoin as possible for the cheapest price possible, but just as many as possible. And now he was just buying at 53,000. So do you want to be doing what the billionaires are doing out there, or do you want to be doing what the retail investors at Grayscale are doing? My personal recommendation would be do what the billionaires are doing out there. Michael Saylor was just buying 2 days ago, and yeah, he doesn't care here about this temporary dip when in 2 weeks he's already in a massive profit again. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the short term.
That is such a good point. Chris, I want to keep you here because Fridays we banter. We've got all our friends in the waiting room. We are going to carry on with the show, but stay with us because we want you in the banter. So we'll see you in a second. Guys, I want to carry on. And yesterday, I gave you guys two bold statements. One is, I told you guys that Ethereum is getting to 10 trillion. Yeah, Fred, did I say that yesterday? I did. And we even showed it to you on the slide. We said Ethereum is getting to 10 trillion. And I made a price call for Ethereum. I said $20,000. And I told you that this price call wasn't based on hot air, but it was actually based on real fundamental analysis. And we do have the Ethereum numbers. And I can tell you that when you look at the network effect, the Metcalfe's law of Ethereum, it is undeniable that ETH has to go to between 10 and 20,000. And let me show you why I mean that. The first thing we need to look at is the growth in transaction volume on the Ethereum platform. Ethereum is on track to do $1.6 billion of $1.6 trillion worth of transactions in 1 quarter. Guys, in 1 quarter, quarter one. If this growth continues, we can expect $10 trillion on the Ethereum network to be transacted by the end of the year, in 1 year. Now, where does this get exciting? That means that the volume on Ethereum has grown 12x in the last 12 months and 50x since the beginning of 2019. Why am I telling you this? Pretty simple. It shows that Ethereum is getting the network effect. And when something has the network effect, it cannot fail unless the governments come, unless a new product launches, or unless Ethereum breaks down completely. Fred, let's analyze more of those numbers. Call up some of your fancy slides. Fred's been working hard, guys. Look at the active addresses on Ethereum. The active addresses on Ethereum are now higher than they've ever been. That means more and more and more people are using this network. Let's see what else we can see on the Ethereum network. The fees. Ethereum was generating $50 million in fees a day at one point. Look at those fees. And we know that the gas fees are going to go down with ETH 2.0. What is driving the volume? Well, I said to you guys, the most exciting thing in the world at the moment is NFTs. The most exciting thing, not on blockchain and crypto, the most exciting thing in the world is NFTs. And I think that with the growth of NFTs, we saw yesterday a bid of $1 million on our show for an NFT. There is an NFT mania going on. And so I decided to bring a guest in. And you guys love this guest. You all know him. His name is Alotomoney. Alotomoney, welcome to Crypto Banter, my friend.
Hi, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Man, I'm a big fan, first of all. I must say, I'm a big fan of your work. And I want you to share some of your work because I think people need to understand it. But I want you to tell me why you're so obsessed with NFTs.
Obsessed with NFT. NFT has everything to be excited for an artist, for a digital artist even more. It's for the first time I was able to monetize my digital creation via NFTs. And right now it became something really big because people are starting to get the technology behind it and what is possible. And there is endless possibilities with NFTs. You can do so many things. I'm going to show you some of my art. So this one is.
What are we looking at now on the screen?
Yes, you're looking at artistic irreverence that have the same initial as AI, artificial intelligence. Now more and more people are creating with artificial intelligence, and this one was about the connection between the artist and the machine that create visual, and the artists still have a lot to do in this part, in this artificial intelligence creation, you know. So I'm going to show you some more. Excuse me. So this one is Atomic Fairy. It's about the danger of the atomic electricity. And if there is an electric fairy, I think the atomic fairy should be a little bit more scary, even if she's beautiful and if she's giving us a lot of things.
You created these, and these are now NFTs which are going on sale on the various NFT platforms, right?
Yes. I'm almost on every platform. When I started, there were only super rare, and then I started looking at every other platform like OpenSea and now Rarible. And depending on the work I'm doing, I like to explore a different platform to sell my art, and so far it works pretty good. So this was my early works. This one was made only with artificial intelligence element. Trying to search the artificial intelligence to see what she's trying to tell me, you know. And in this case, she were clearly showing me people in armor and some kind of a dark world, and I tried to interpret what she wanted to say. So this one is Riot 41.
Now, how much would one of these NFTs go for? I mean, I'm assuming that they're all one of one. In other words, if you own it, nobody else can own it. How much does one of these NFTs sell for?
Right now, it's the secondary market is very, very excited right now. When I sold those pieces, it was about something like $4,000, and now it's some of them are selling on secondary market for $80,000.
$80,000 for a digital. Look, it's a beautiful piece of artwork. And yesterday we saw on our show someone putting in a bid for $1 million for the Beeple artwork. And I believe that even at $1 million, he didn't get the artwork yet, or he was already outbid. So it looks like there's a huge mania in this NFT market. And this mania is causing the Ethereum network to get more and more and more and more adoption.
Yeah, and there are more and more second layer solutions that are coming and that are making the fees quasi inexistent. And we are all the platforms are now exploring L2 solution for this problem we have with the fees that are getting higher and the network that is getting clogged. We're waiting. While we wait for Ethereum 2.0, we have solutions right now.
Now, I need to ask you a question. How long does it take you to make one of these pieces of art? I mean, it would take me 10 years.
It depends completely. Generally, once I have the idea and the excitation behind the idea, I do everything in a row. It may take 20 hours if I should, but I have to start and finish on the same day because I'm holding to this idea. I'm holding to this excitation to make the artwork. So sometimes it can take 2 days for an NFT piece, and sometimes it can take much longer, especially when it's an async.art piece. You know, that's pieces. I'm gonna try to show you one. That's pieces that are programmable, and for example, this one. This one is my dictatorship. You know, the person who is owning this NFT is seeing changes every day on it. There are different people passing by. There are different things happening, and that's my dictatorship. I still have many ways to interact with the piece. There are scripted event that happens at a specific moment of the year or specific moment I decided to, and I can change and tweak this artwork as much as I want. So this one took much more than 2 days. It took me almost a month to make because there are so many things that you are not seeing right now, but that can happen anytime I decide they would. So that kind of artwork takes a lot of time.
So it means that the artist can actually go back into the artwork if the token is scripted like that, and
yes,
constantly update the artwork.
Yes, and there are many possibilities. For example, on this one, there are different owner of the NFT. There's someone who is owning the entire NFT that is called the master, and then you've got the layers. So someone is controlling what's happening in this window. Someone is controlling the background. Someone is controlling the head, and someone is controlling the little feature that is here on the table. And so they can change it whenever they want. And the owner of the master is seeing the changes in real time. One of the other things we did with Trevor Jones, that was the huge success. It sold for 260 ETH. That's a portrait of Vitalik. It's the ETH boy from the famous Picasso painting, and the background is changing according to the price of Ethereum, and then the little butterfly you see here is the price of Bitcoin. So when the price of Bitcoin is up, the butterfly is up. When the price of Ethereum keeps on climbing like it's the case since a few months, then you see Vitalik in the stars. If it was going down, you can see Vitalik in hell or in the depth of earth. So this one is completely autonomous. It grabs the data on the Ethereum blockchain and chart every day, and the artwork is changing by itself.
Wow. Okay, so this is mind-blowing. And the comments are saying that it's mind-blowing. If people want to see this art, where do they go?
If people want what you say?
If people want to see more of your art, where can they go?
Oh,
where is this available?
My website is actually under work. I'm working on it with Ogar, that some people know here, and so right now you can go to CryptoVoxel. I've got a place in CryptoVoxel to where I expose my work. That's where I am. What I'm showing you now, it's kind of the museum of my art. There's not much new NFT here. I have to update. You can see all of my early work here. So this is a place you can find in CryptoVoxel. You go to cryptovoxels.com, and you on the search you go for Alotomoney, and you will find some of my builds. This is the first build I ever made. It was a gift from blackbox.art, Sparrow, who gave me this place to expose my art. And now I have I'm doing places like this. This is 2 towers, and each floor is an apartment that people rent. So I'm renting virtual spaces. This is the office of Conlan, the famous Conlan, where the guy from the Async Art. So that's his office. That's where really people are coming to see him, and the entire building is to rent. And it's decorated in the Gangnam style of CryptoVoxel. There's a part of CryptoVoxel that is called Gangnam, and it's about cyberpunk and things like that. So you can if you go to CryptoVoxel and search for Alotomoney, you're gonna find a lot of things to see, and many different places.
That is absolutely amazing. I must say, I'm blown away. I didn't realize just how interactive this was. It really adds a new dimension to the world of art. I mean, absolutely amazing. Listen, we're going to keep following what you do. I'm going to get you back on here again because, I mean, my mind is blown. I don't know about everybody else, but my mind is blown. I mean, Coach, is your mind blown?
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good stuff. I love like the way it's like waving, and it's I'm not like an artist myself, but I am very big in the NFT side of things. So I really appreciate stuff that I'm not good at, and art is something I'm not personally good at. So
Alrighty, we're going to let you go because we want to get on to the Friday banter. The crowds here are going mad. They want their banter. Everybody's back. We have got our friends. Alotomoney. Thank you for coming on Crypto Banter. We'll see you again next time.
Thanks for having me.
In fact, I think that you should make a Crypto Banter NFT, and you should put it up in your gallery.
Yes.
You can. I'll give you the rights.
I'll see if I can find time to do that. I'm not sure this year, but maybe next year.
Thank you so much. All right, guys, we have a dream team here for you. And we've got Coach K, we've got Chris, we've got Kyle, and then we've got Winston the Wolf. Now, Winston, I need to ask you, how many 100Xs have you done this week?
Just the one, but we might have a second one in about 15 minutes' time. We'll see. Touch wood. Don't want to jinx it.
What are you launching?
Sorry, what was that, Red?
What are you launching?
We're launching a public mint. So it's been one that's quite hyped. The PokerStarter IDO, the IDO on PokerStarter just sold out within a few seconds before. Every transaction within a single block.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. That is amazing. All right, guys, I've got the dream team here to banter. I think let's start off with looking at Ethereum based on what's going on here in this crazy NFT cycle. I gave you guys the fundamentals. Chris, what do you think of the technicals for Ethereum?
I didn't check the technicals for Ethereum since 2 days, but it didn't look good in the last 2 days because I'm not entering new trades as long as we are not breaking the downtrend here. We are creating lower highs, lower lows. Once this changes, I will look out more for long positions because I'm either longing or waiting, as I already said. So Ethereum still in a downtrend, but once we break the downtrend, of course, we will be bullish. I'm very bullish on Ethereum for this year.
Guys, how do we know that we're not in a bearish trend and that's not the end of the bull market? Like, why are we all so confident that this is not the end of the 2021 bull market?
Because you have institutional FOMO, man. It's 2017 on mega dose of steroids. I mean, it's just the writing's on the wall. It's there's just no way. There's no way. We're just getting started. You know, I mean, you have to think about how much time it takes for an institution to go through the process of buying Bitcoin. They can't just go to Michael Saylor's conference and go buy it the next day. They have to hire attorneys, and they have to set up their playbook, and they have to transfer money, and they have to probably file some things with SEC and CFTC and all that stuff. So it's just getting started.
Chris, what do you think when you look at the technicals? What convinces you that we're still in a bullish uptrend and this is not the end of the bull?
So, I mean, the easiest thing, what everyone is looking at, and I have something else where not everyone is looking at, but one thing everyone is looking at is the past history. So the axis we are making towards the previous all-time high. Now we made a 2.5x. That would be just extremely far off as what we had before. So we started like with a 40x, then we had from 1,300 to 20,000 US dollars, and now from 20 to 58. I don't think that's reasonable, especially considering what Kyle just said. Something else where no one is looking at is on-chain data. So if you track from the Bitcoin blockchain the profitability of long-term and short-term holders, well, then you see that short-term holders never really get into that euphoria stage. They are never really extremely profitable, not even towards the end of the bear market, and they are getting shaken out every now and then. But the most important thing is actually to look at the long-term holders' profitability. So on-chain, when Bitcoin are moved from address A to address 2, this specific metric is taking the UTXOs and sees, okay, is this guy actually in a profit or not? And right now we are entering the euphoria stage. But in history, whenever we entered it, we stayed there also for 6 to 12 months, right? So we just entered it 2 weeks ago. There's, for me personally, from a fundamental and technical perspective, no way that this bull market will turn into a bear market. This is rather just a massive shakeout, this red candle volume we need for the institutions actually to have some liquidity on the OTC desk and to actually scale into Bitcoin. So if you are a long-term holder, you shouldn't be concerned. I think you will be very profitable throughout the next 3 months.
Does this worry you guys? Does the economy worry you guys? The US economy, it's been in the biggest bubble we've ever seen. We saw the NASDAQ going down like 8% or 7% this week, and it took down Bitcoin. It looks like we are quite correlated. When you guys look at this, are you worried that the biggest threat to this whole crypto bull run is actually the stock market correcting?
They're going to have to pass some stimulus at some stage. And I think that's, again, in the final stages. So, you know, the bubble will continue once that happens for sure.
Yeah.
All right, Coach, I have to play this again. I know that I know we spoke about it this morning, but I have to play this again.
If you know Legendary Films, they retweeted Terra Virtua. Legendary Films makes a lot of good movies. If you TVK,
TVK, get it.
It's gonna go bonkers.
It is still super low cap, guys.
It is extremely low, guys. Extremely.
This one is NFT season is coming. Okay, that's the next big thing. Insurance and.
All right, man. What a call! What a call! You told us that. You told us again last week on the show. You said, "Look, I'm looking at Terra Virtua." Bang! This morning, a Binance listing.
It's 2 for 2 in a week.
I'm starting to think you may have someone inside on the exchanges, because the last one was, I think, was it Cardano? What was it? And then they also got a big listing.
Yeah, it's Fala, like just
Fala
the day before. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just getting lucky, seriously. I don't have an inside person or anything. And even if I did, I would have to kill you if I told you guys so.
All right, Chris, I have to ask you this question. Up until about 3-4 months ago, I think when I watched your videos, it was only Bitcoin. Are you now converted into altcoins? Are you becoming an altcoin junkie? Are you degening into vegetable farms? Are you starting to buy pancakes on the Binance chain? I mean, is that where it's going?
Yeah, I mean, I'm certainly not an altcoin junkie, and I will never be. But of course, I went into altcoins. I invested in a few. I added some to my DeFi portfolio. So I actually announced, I think somewhere in December, when we broke the all-time high, after we broke the all-time high, that, as I already said before, whenever we break the all-time high, I think I talked about that in your show even, and stay above the all-time high, this is when the alt season is going to start, in my personal opinion. And this is exactly what happened. Of course, you could have made a little bit more gains if you started like a few weeks earlier, but this strategy actually prevented me from going into altcoins 3 years before. So the altcoin season is going on. It started. I bought altcoins in December, and I'm still holding them. Shout out to Kyle. I also have paid, right? So I didn't sell any of those paid tokens as well. So I am in altcoins for sure, but I'm not an altcoin junkie. I will always have the majority in Bitcoin, but it's nice to have altcoins. I mean, just look at the gains. And in the end of the day, if you can maximize your Bitcoin, or maybe even hold an altcoin, there are not many of them, but some of them, which has actual utility, then it's a beautiful thing if you are making some gains on the sidelines as well.
All right, so I'm going to come back to you and ask you what's in your bag. But before I go to that, Winston, I need to know what's coming up, because every time you touch something, it does 100x. So I need to understand what's coming up, what I look out for.
Well, there's one that I've got my eye on and that I'm doing some stuff with, which is called Unmarshal, unmarshal.io. Essentially, it's the graph for DeFi. It'll be launching probably mid-March. It's going to be a kind of micro capish kind of thing. And it's got some really big partners integrations into BSC, Polkadot, NIA, Ethereum. Like, it's basically touching every important ecosystem. And it's going to be that underlying data layer that applications are going to be able to access and build upon. So definitely want to keep an eye on.
I've got Fred waving his hands here. Fred, what's up? Fred says there's not enough likes. He says this video is going to get shadow banned from YouTube again. Guys, help us, please. Chris told me today the reason why my videos aren't being shared is because something is flagged on YouTube. The only way we're going to break it is if you guys smash those likes and we tell YouTube that we actually do like this content. All right, Coach. I'm sitting down. I'm saying you've had 2 for 2. You can't break the record. What's next?
Ooh, good question. Well, I'm really focused on the private sale today, public mint, which I talked about on yesterday. So I'm focused on public mint right now. Bitcoins and ETH are doing their thing, we're having a little correction. To answer your question about earlier, how do I know it's not the end? We've only had 130% correction this whole entire time. So we got to have at least 2, 3, 4, 5 more before we can say, okay, we're getting near the top. And my mom just finally gave me money to go into crypto. So if she just started and I've been doing this forever, I mean, how many people are still looking to get started? It's coming.
All right, Coach, what's your mom's name?
My mom's name is Selena.
All right, so let's have a Selena index. We know when Selena's buying, you need to tell us. When Selena's selling, you need to tell us. Listen, I got my parents to Bitcoin at about $15,000 in the last bull run. And it was about 3 years before I could walk back into the house and have dinner. Because every time I walk back in the house, what did they say? Oh, how are the Bitcoin doing? So eventually I stopped going for dinners.
He ran away.
I ran away. All right, Kyle, over to you, my friend. What are you looking at?
Okay, well, how many do you want, Ran?
Oh, it's not up to me. It's up to the community. How many do you want, community? Let us know in the comments.
How many likes are you going to give?
Okay, so I'll give you guys, I'll give you one right now. That's because usually I talk, I'm really, really heavily focused on the things that
I'm reading his mind, okay?
That haven't been, what is it, Coach?
It's shadows.
No,
is it?
Well, obviously, that's what I'm about to talk about right now, though. But that was one of them I was going to talk about in a minute.
Okay.
But I want to actually tell you guys something that's trading right now. So there's a project called Moonswap. And on Tuesday, the Chinese state-backed government invested in the parent company of Moonswap called CoinFlux. The investors in CoinFlux are people like Huobi and some other big Chinese funds. And it's not really trading hardly at all. Like, it's actually hard to buy it because there's very little liquidity. But it has all of the right things in place for it to absolutely moon. I think the market cap's like $2 million right now.
What does it do? What does it do?
It's an AMM DEX, and it solves a lot of problems. To be honest with you, I don't really know. I just had to read this news to know that like it's backed by the Chinese government. So if you and the government's backing their public chain, so CoinFlux's chain. So it has it's reduced fees and blah blah blah. I don't honestly know too much. It's a DEX.
Okay.
But I do know that it's sitting at $2 million and just had a huge investment by the Chinese government. And Huobi is one of the companies that backs it. So,
yeah, I mean, guys, I don't know if you guys followed, but Crypto.com came out with an article this week around crypto adoption. And for the first time, we're over 100 million active addresses. We have 106 million addresses. And ironically, I think, Fred, do we have those charts so we had those charts yesterday, but you know what's driving the adoption? Ironically, it's actually Bitcoin. The growth in Bitcoin addresses in the last couple of months. Fred, if you can find them, we'll wait. But if you can find them, I want to show you guys the growth. It shows you that crypto is no longer a fun thing. It's actually, we are getting adoption very, 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 very fast of Bitcoin, of Ethereum, and now we're starting to get crypto adoption of some other altcoins. Did you guys see the news about this Dubai fund that's selling $1 billion worth of Bitcoin and buying Cardano and Polkadot?
Yep.
Chris, what do you think of that? Selling $1 billion worth of Bitcoin to buy Cardano and Polkadot?
Well, it depends on their whole portfolio, right? If the portfolio is 1 billion, selling 100%, not sure if it's reasonable, but if they have a big portfolio, why not, right? I just heard about the Dubai businessman who's pledging for a $4.8 billion Bitcoin purchase. But in the end of the day, of course, like if Michael Saylor does that, we know he's going to buy. If this Dubai businessman is doing it, he doesn't have a track record. So maybe it's just an empty promise, but I hope not.
I thought that was you. You were in Dubai and they said, some wealthy guy from Dubai and 4.6 billion. I thought that was you.
Unfortunately, I don't have any fiat on the sidelines to buy Bitcoin with. So I can't even dollar cost average in anymore. It's just like I'm all in, right?
Amazing. Chris, we're going to go because I know you've got another stream that you got to get on. Thank you for coming on Crypto Banter. You're a great friend. You've always helped us, always helped the channel. Love your work. Guys, we are going to drop the description to Chris's channel. He does a video at least once a day. Sometimes he does it in his underwear and his shirt. We've seen the memes. So we'll leave a link and you guys can watch it. Chris, thank you, my friend.
Thanks.
All right, now let's
You
talk
said that
altcoins.
to the ladies.
Now we've got the Bitcoin guys out. Now let's talk altcoins. All right, guys, what are we dipping into?
There's a lot more. So one more I'll tell you guys about. I think Coach would probably agree with me on this one. Plasmapay, man, it is so undervalued. So undervalued. Like it's
Plasmapay launched at like 13 cents on the first day. Then it went back down to 2 or 3 cents, if I remember correctly. Right. Coach, you then called it on the show. And I think it went back up to like 10 or 11 cents straight after you called it. Where are we today on Plasmapay?
So on March 1st, the new DEX is launching, and it's absolutely incredible as far as it's on their own Plasma DLT. It accepts all the ERC20s, like very little to I think maybe even no fees, and also you can there's no gas, like no Ethereum for gas. You don't have to use. So for the first time I've ever seen anything, this is going to make it extremely friendly for your average Joe to come in, and if they just want to go and trade paid for whatever else, you don't have to worry about having ETH for gas. I've never seen anything else out there that enables you to actually do a transaction on the Ethereum network that doesn't require you to have actual gas.
Yeah.
Coach, when you look at this chart, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking that it's going to go higher, much higher.
Okay. Higher than 16 cents. Wow, that's big.
Yeah.
All right.
I think 16 cents is not that high for what they got coming at all.
Winston, you're hiding behind this sexy avatar. We're not going to let you go. You know that. You know we need some calls from you, bro.
Well, man, this one, it's going to be music to your ears because it's one that you and I have both been talking about for a long time. That's finally starting to get some of the attention that it deserves, and that's Coti. It's been sitting there undervalued for a long time. It's been making moves. It's been getting smashed back down, and it's finally starting to get into a stage of price discovery. People are starting to pay attention to it and get close to the market cap it deserves. Nowhere near yet. But yeah, it's starting to move. There's a lot of fundamentals still coming up. I think it's definitely one for everyone to keep their eye on in the next sort of 3 to 6 months. This will be a coin that's everyone's talking about.
I want to talk about what Coti is. So for those people who don't know what Coti is like a blockchain, but it's not actually a blockchain. It's called a DAG, which is it's a fancy word for a type of blockchain that works on randomness, so to speak. And what Coti does is it allows for very quick, very cheap, trustless payments. And they are actually one of the projects that is rolling out real world adoption. They've got a lot of alternative payment places like casinos, places that need alternative type of payments. That's what Coti is targeting. Now they have, I don't remember the exact numbers, but around $20 million of monthly recurring payments that are happening on their network. And at the same time,
well, that was the running joke for a long time, was they were processing more payments on their network than their market cap was worth. It's just crazy how undervalued it was. One of those casinos you mentioned or gambling partners is DAFABet. It's one of the biggest gambling organizations in the world, and this is like, it's solving a real world need using crypto, which is, like people have a lot of issues trying to get money into those sorts of ecosystems using Coti and their credit card processing, which runs on the trust chain. These gambling organizations can take money from anyone, anywhere in the world.
Yes. Look, Coti for me has always been undervalued. There's a reason why I'm calling up Phantom on the screen. So Phantom and Coti have always moved kind of together. and that is because they're both DAG protocols. Phantom was actually developed by Andre Cronje at the same time as Coti launched. And ironically, I was an advisor to both projects when they launched. And if you saw what happened to Phantom in the last couple of days, Phantom actually smashed. It's gone up from like 10 cents to like 8. It smashed 80 cents. And that was a news that Sam Bankman-Fried's Alameda Research bought into $35 million into Phantom. And Coti and Phantom always moved together. First it was Phantom, then it was Coti. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get, you guys love him, Michael Chen, the guy that sounds Dutch. I think he actually may be Dutch. He's going to come on the show either Monday or Tuesday next week and actually tell us what's going on at Phantom and why the price has been ramped up like this.
Yeah. I got another call.
I went to the Phantom launch party in Korea like 2 years ago. That was epic.
Yeah, I was there. I was there. I remember it. It was a beautiful venue, if I remember correctly.
It was really nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Korea. Oh, good times. Okay, my other call is Orbit Freeway Token.
Share your screen. We don't know what it looks like.
Give me 1 second. So I'll just give you a little background about what these guys do. So they make virtual hedge funds. So a lot of people want to get into DeFi and want to get into trading, and they don't really know what they're doing. So the problem is that when they go to actually do it, they lose all their money, right? Like we've all seen people do it. We've all been a part of that at one point to learn about it. But Freeway Token is a project that has several funds right now already aligned with them, and you'll be able to use their token to actually invest or stake into certain proven with track records funds. So they'll let you give access. So you're kind of like a large, like if you go to a hedge fund with your strategy, you would go there and you would be like, hey, like we want to use this strategy, give us a bunch of profit and give us the money and give us some profit. And they would say, cool. So this lets you do that as a retail investor. And they have like 9 different products that are coming. Some are Bitcoin accumulation. Some are like scalping strategies. And I mean, it's still really new. And I think like it's got that nice rounded bottom we've seen before. And now we've had this little bit of a correction. I keep your eye on this because once they launch, I think it's like in the next 5 days, actually. I think it's going to move. It's going to move big time. And I mean, I don't usually say that too often.
Call up Cardano. Cardano seems to be taking off. If I'm looking here on the screen, it's at 116.
Yeah, I mean, well, I told you that 2 days ago, right? Let me pull up my screen.
People are asking where Elio is. I've got a message from Elio. He says, mate, I need to sleep. Poor guy hasn't slept for 3 days. I promise you we will get him on next week. He just sent me a message saying, I need more sleep. Poor guy. He is on the West Coast.
What have you done to him, Winston? What have you done, sir?
Winston's back. I thought Winston, is your launch of Public Mint finished now?
Their liquidity is just being added to Uniswap right now.
Okay,
so I just had to jump off quickly and launch a token. My apologies.
No worries.
Which other show in the world brings you Friday banter like this? Fridays are my best shows. The Friday banter is like, I look forward to the Friday banter all week.
Oof. ADA is such on a moon mission right now. It's going to $1.80.
Who is building on ADA? And this is what I don't understand. Like I don't hear about any. I just do research.
I hear that
every single day. Like why that? I don't understand it at all. Nobody.
So Coti's just about to do ADA Pay actually and do a payment solution for ADA. But you know, this is all based off. There's going to be a listing today or tomorrow. So
that's the first I heard. Like I just can't understand why. Like I guess it's just a layer 1 with a lot of hype and it's a bull market or something. But like when it comes to network effect, I don't get it. Like
it's the cat in the box, bro. Like nothing's there, so it can be anything. Once stuff starts to come out, we'll see how ADA gets reevaluated.
Well, yes and no. Sure. So yes and no. So I mean, you got to look at what's happening in the back end. So up until now, no one has been able to build on Cardano because they've had no smart contract functionality. So what Charles has done pretty smartly in the back end is he's been negotiating with many companies to move over the Cardano chain. And he has got multiple projects to commit that as soon as the smart contracts come through, they will move and migrate onto the platform. At the same time, technologically, I think technologically there's probably nothing better than Cardano at the moment. except maybe Polkadot, but Polkadot's nowhere near ready to do what it needs to do. Whereas Cardano, if everything goes according to the roadmap, then pretty soon Cardano is going to be running with smart contracts on a mainnet. And when that happens, then you've really got an alternative to Ethereum. But yes, I agree that there may be an argument to say, why are people willing to value a network that hasn't even launched at a market cap of X billion dollars?
Are you calling another ETH killer then, Ran?
No, I'm launching. I'm talking about a parallel network. Winston, I'm going to ask you this. I see some comments in the chat about Superfarm refunding people. What's going on there?
Yeah, so essentially, Superfarm ran a community round where we tried to give away as many tokens to the community as possible. So I think it was about 675 people got into that round. And from that, about 600 people got tokens. From that, about 70, and it's the usual story of a vocal minority, didn't complete their paperwork properly, sent in transactions and the wrong amount, the wrong currency, didn't pass KYC, and were refunded. And that's essentially what you're hearing there is that people didn't follow due process. I think that's one of the things I like about crypto the most is that Darwin's law still applies. And that you have to be diligent when you're doing these sorts of things.
I've seen this so many times. And
unfortunately, in this case, some people weren't.
Yeah, I've seen this so many times where people fail KYC, where people send USDT instead of sending USDC, and then at the end of it, when they get refunded, they start asking why they're getting refunded. And I mean, again, you need to do what you're supposed to do, and if you do that, then you'll get what you're supposed to get. Guys,
yeah, and look, this sense of entitlement in crypto is real. That's all I'll say on that.
Yes, of course. If you invest in a pre-sale, you need to make 100x. If you don't make 100x, then you failed. That's just how it is nowadays.
Yeah, no pressure.
I bought an altcoin the other day, and it went down. You should have seen the look on my face. I mean, I didn't believe that could happen. That altcoins could actually go down.
Private sale or
we get
secondary
on the market.
Okay.
I bought a token.
We're too used to the bull run. We wait years for it to come, and then it's here for a few months, let's call it, and it feels like that's the new reality.
Guys, are we buying the dip now? Are we saying that we're at the end of this dip? Are we bargain hunting? I mean, I know we're all getting into these pre-sales, but let's talk a little bit about what's happening on the market. I know, Winston, you said Coti. What are we buying on the market? Is this time to go to get into the market?
Paid, baby. I bought a lot of paid.
I bought paid on the dip too.
Yeah, it was a no-brainer.
I must say,
I'm buying ETH every time something dips around. I'm buying ETH. You can't go wrong buying ETH.
Yeah, I'm buying gold and silver.
Gold and silver.
Oh, you boomer.
Boring.
Wow. Is it a tokenized version?
No, I'd never buy gold. I think
wrong show, sir.
Buy ecosystem coins. AVAX, ADA, BNB, Ethereum.
Do we like Avalanche?
What?
Do we like Avalanche? AVA.
I don't not like them. I think that more ecosystems are better, more choices, more ways for people to come in the ecosystem, right? Like we want to include more people so we have more talent, right? Because I find right now the biggest crux on a lot of these good projects coming out is there's not enough marketers, there's not enough PR people, there's not enough content writers because no one knows this space. It's growing at an exponential rate again. So it's really interesting to see a lot of the picks I'm making now are who's involved with the project, because I know if there's certain people not involved, the chance of the project being successful are a lot less. So I'm actually investing way more in people now than I've ever invested in crypto because now I know who's got the formula, right?
Who do you invest
who I've worked with.
What?
Right, who do you invest in, Coach?
I invest with my boys at Master Ventures, that's for sure.
I must say, I'm also becoming a Master Ventures convert. Every time I've got Kyle in my urgent folder, and every time that I get a thing, I quickly click yes. I don't even look at it. Yes.
I think Black Hedge is another good one that I like to invest with. I don't know.
let us go around. Let's have one call for the rest of the week. Until next week, what would you be buying?
ADA.
ADA.
Yeah. I've got a sick 50 times long on Adder at the moment. Don't recommend to do that. But yeah, hold it for a day or two and see.
Wow, yeah, hold ADA at least till like start of March, I would say. Like I think it's gonna be some big moves. It's already mooning right now, so it's gonna keep mooning to $2.
Times long. And Winston, you're a DeFi degen, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
That's why
I wouldn't have it any other way. It's the only way I can feel alive.
Carl, what do you think?
Being on a roller coaster at the top right before you're about to go down.
So you gotta check out you gotta buy Shadows on Tuesday, man. It's like you gotta I think that we just closed the whitelist yesterday. We did the lottery winners today. Those will be announced on Monday, and we have the launch on Tuesday. And you can expect like in most Uniswap listings. We'll see it pumped up and then wait for a correction. And then I would definitely pick some up at the correction because you're looking at synthetics on Polkadot with a legit team, Web3 grants, full Polkadot. Like there's no reason that this thing, and we've been incubating it and just it has massive momentum right now behind it. So that's what I'm saying. Mark your calendars for Tuesday. It's going to be one hell of an event. And plus it's our first launch for Ignition.
Oh, is this the first launch on Ignition? Wow, that should be amazing. All right, guys, I'm going to make a call. I'm going to make a call. I'm going to go for Vespa Finance. It's one that I researched and I did a research report and I posted on the show. They have more total value locked today than Wi-Fi. And the market cap, if I'm looking on my phone, $31 million market cap. It's a DeFi protocol. For me, DeFi protocol, $30 million market cap, huge total value locked, fast growth, great team behind it. For me, safe bet, even if the market goes down, I think it's probably a safe bet. I have called it before, and I think I'm going to stick to my call. Guys, it has been absolutely amazing. On Friday, we always run out of time. In fact, we always run overtime. But the good news is that next week, there's going to be a Friday again. And on Fridays, our friends come over. We banter. As you can see, every week I have less and less friends. That's just the nature of the industry. In bull markets, I have more friends. In bear markets, I have less friends. So I'll see you guys again next week if you're still my friends. Thank you, Coach K, Kyle, Winston.
Cheers.
Couldn't do the show without you guys.
Thanks, brother.
Pleasure. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys. Guys, I love Fridays. I love the banter on Fridays. Fred, what do you think, man? Fred says 10 out of 10. Guys, I'll see you on Monday, 10 a.m. EST. Hopefully, by that time, YouTube will unban some of my videos and you guys can watch. Until then, if you are trading, trade well, my friends. Keep an eye out for the stock markets. I think that the stock markets are what is going to cause any type of correction out here. I'll see you again on Monday. Until then, trade well, my friends.
Crypto Banter is a social podcast for entertainment purposes only. All opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers should not be construed as financial advice. Views expressed by guests and hosts do not reflect the views of the station. Listeners are encouraged to do their own research.